There's a large growing tech industry and workforce in Canada, and it's a major economic driver across our regions, across the country. But women are underrepresented and underpaid in this industry. So what are the barriers? What continue to be those barriers? Paul Preston is the CEO of the Newfoundland and Labrador Association of Technology and Innovation, NATI for short. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Let's take a look at the Newfoundland industry. How many tech companies do we have here?
Yeah, when we look at the pure technology companies, those firms that are purely tech focused, we know there's about 165 or more pure tech firms. If you consider companies that are highly tech enabled, that really interact quite a bit with technology, several hundred.
And how many of those are led by women?
Not enough, clearly. We have some great examples locally, companies, up-and-coming companies like Succeed, longer-term companies like Prima Information Solutions, for example. Genoa Design is led by a strong female leader, but not enough. We know there's a lot of work that needs to be done in the sector and across Canada, quite frankly.
So we'll talk about that work that needs to be done in just a moment. I want to get a sense of the economy and how much this industry contributes to Newfoundland and Labrador.
Yeah, in terms of GDP impact, we know the industry, the sector is about in excess of $1.6 billion. To put that in perspective, bigger than tourism, bigger than traditional fishery, bigger than farming. And most people aren't aware of that. It employs about 4,000 people within the pure tech industry itself. And that number's more like 8,700 if you consider the really highly tech-enabled firms.
What opportunities for work exist in this province?
So we're seeing more and more huge potential and really a demand for labor that we can't meet here in this province. I have 5 members of NATI, 5 tech companies. Just those 5 are going to hire in excess of 750 people in the next 3 to 5 years. But they can't find the skill sets, the people, the talent they need here locally. So the opportunity for a young person or someone who's considering a career change have never been better. And the opportunities in particular for young women coming out, I think there's a real opportunity there for them.
So it's a huge economic driver. I think people watching this will be surprised to hear that number because they often think of tourism as the big money generator.
Absolutely.
And oil, of course, is there. But when you talk about opportunities, what are the barriers right now preventing women from getting into this industry?
Yeah, we know statistically women are 4 times less likely to go into a career in technology. We see stats that show young women, are about 3% of them are likely to consider a career in technology. So there are real barriers there. We think the first thing, it has to start in the K-12 system. Some studies show, young women really, if they're going to consider a career in tech, it's by grade 6. More recent research is showing us you really got to get them thinking about careers in technology by the time they're in grade 3, grade 4. So it's getting at girls really at a younger age to give them that encouragement, to help them to consider different types of career paths. But just as important, it's strong female leaders, strong female mentors, and just exposing them to the sector and to problem solving with tech, et cetera. Yeah.
So what kinds of things are you as an organization looking at to generate that interest at that age and also have that mentorship at the later stage of knowledge?
Yeah, so there's some program-based things and some other very practical things we do. I mean, I'm proud to say that within our bylaws, our constitution as an organization, we strive and have an actual target to make sure gender is represented equally on our board of directors. So that's important to see strong female leaders on our board of directors helping to lead the sector. A very practical thing we do. We've got a partnership with Brilliant Labs to get coding into schools, so coding into the K-12 system. It's focused on both boys and girls, but importantly, it's about that exposure and that encouragement at a young age. We host a series of events around women in tech. We partner with organizations like the Workforce Innovation Center, Women Resource Development Corporation, NLO, and others to do activities that encourage women in tech. Just recently, this past spring, we went to a high school, St. John Bosco, and held an event all about women in tech, but the boys were also there. We want to make sure that everyone understands we're better when we have a more diverse and inclusive workforce.
And just briefly, I want you to touch on what impact does this lack of diversity and inclusion, specifically when it comes to women in this industry, have on the tech sector?
Massive. And I mean, I truly believe not just a diverse, but an inclusive, conclusive workforce is vital to driving the kind of creative solutions we need for world problems. So within the technology innovation sector, you're setting new ground. You're breaking into new areas that haven't been tested. There's no pure solutions. The way we can create those solutions and that next generation of technology, we need all the brightest minds. We need diverse ways of thinking and of looking at problems. So we need diverse skill sets, quite frankly. And I think within our sector, it's even more important.
Paul, thanks for coming in and highlighting the importance of this industry and how you're tackling some of the barriers.
Thank you very much for having me.
We'll be right back.